Hello.
Markiplier ones. So.
Markiplier.
Mark-
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I do have the Markiplier ones. So just like, occasionally.
OMG, they look so good.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm so
They look terrible.
Yay.
Just kidding.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Wait, what did this
My mouth actually opens. I didn't know it could do this.
Yeah, we have 2 frames thanks to Gigi.
Bop,
Bah, bah.
bop.
I like how like if Max opens his mouth, it's just gonna be just like a noise.
Hi, Julber. I have.
He lets out an entire hurricane when he opens his mouth.
Hit you like a hurricane. I've temporarily, for now, retired from Val. I'm so tired. I only know DBD. Anyways, D&D. Also,
You
the
also know
sex.
League of Legends.
Yeah. I only know DBD right now though. But for Sexy Bullman, this is Gnark. This is our barbarian, as you can see in our info doc. He's a little
Yeah, he's
stupid,
a
Your
little
Honor.
stupid.
Woohoo.
What's a little bit stupid? But some
He's a little
musical.
stupid in the head.
Well, actually, I'm
He's
quite
not
intelligent,
stupid, he's
actually.
just whimsical.
Okay.
Oh,
In a
God.
roll? How's he
Just
fucking getting here?
It's crazy.
I mean, there, I'm thinking there.
No rule aside, it's Ryleran's turn for a parallel today.
Huh?
Huh?
No.
He's gonna parallel Clark?
Oh
No
shit!
character parallel.
Oh my.
You buffoon.
Good luck.
You simpleton.
Anyways,
That's great.
Jingle jingle. Let's do a recap.
Alright,
Yippee.
so,
Woohoo.
last we left off. In session 29, party did some negotiating with the Svihelen, and the Svihelen revealed that they were attacking the party believing that they were worshippers of Raisman. Quite the opposite, in fact. Both parties hate the guy. Ironic, because Raisman is the beast of hatred, the god of hatred. So, only giving him more power, huh? Come on, guys, lock in. The Svihelen Mafia in this town share with the party that they've encountered someone at one point who had a small vial of a type of power linked back to Raisman called Creed, more specifically Dread. If you it's a very potent poison. If you drop just a drop in water, it will spread like a cancer throughout the water. As you can see from what is on the screen right now, they put a drop in that. That little fucking lake there, that came from a drop. So, oof. They were trying to find if it had some sort of limit or if it would grow slower in a larger body, and while it did take time for it to travel, it did not take much time. A matter of minutes at most. He had a very small amount of rot within his cheek as well. Rot being another form of Creed that destroys physical matter rather than just like liquid. It breaks up solids essentially. So when they caught the guy, he basically took a cyanide pellet from his cheek like a spy. They also learned that his mark, Raisman followers always have a mark. Sometimes it's less visible, but it's always there. His was on his thigh. So they learned from the Svihelen's research that Creed is sourced in some way from sunlight because it gets stronger in sunlight. They share a theory that it might be from an area on the continent called Stardrop Fall, because of all places on the continent, it gets the most sunlight. Most of the continent gets very little. The whole gimmick and reason it's called Days of Dusk is because it is perpetually dusk. But Stardrop Fall, sometimes it's actually kind of daytime. Ryleran shares with the party, or rather with the Sviel, and the party knew this, that they're carrying a sleeping pill that helps you contact your god through a specific mixture of herbs. Obviously everyone is like, what? Because this fucking drow is just like, yeah, I can talk to my god about it if you want, or maybe even Raisman. They're like, what the fuck? And a very nice halfling lady offers to try to duplicate it. But if it doesn't work out, oof. But yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. Let's see. Ignir, the patriarch of this Vihelin clan, offers to sell the party a number of valuable magic items for discounted prices. Although you test his limits a bit, and he's like, yeah, all right. You pretty much get all you will out of him, and then eventually he's just like, okay, that's... You've already robbed me blind. You're not getting anywhere. In actuality, you have not robbed him blind. He is incredibly rich.
We've been new.
Allure also deduced that one of the individuals, someone by the name of Asi, is Kenku. I don't know, I wrote it down. Noteworthy, so. The little wooden tube vial thing that you found a while ago and almost forgot about is confirmed, well, kind of once again, you kind of already knew this, but it is essentially liquid sunlight. It is enchanted and created in such a way that the light and radiation and stuff from it is kept contained in the wood. It's a very special kind of wood, from not far from the Whispering Oak in that forest. It's rare. So fucking good thing Allure didn't drink it. Lucky. Let's see. Oh yes, Rylerin also mentions, speaking on the Mark of Raisman, that sometimes if it's on the eye, it's pretty significant. It means that Raisman, I almost said Rylerin. That's fucked up.
Rylerin's the
It
god?
means that Raisman trusts you in some way, that you are significant to his cause in some way. And the person they were speaking to, Alistair, says, I've met someone with Mark on his eye. Well, I suppose I've met two. And unclicks the buckle on the back of his mask, removing it and revealing that he has one on his eye.
Ah.
A clear mark. A sharp mark, the mark of a traitor. And that's where we left off. So.
Hold on, I'm putting on a hoodie.
Rylerin. Oh, I'll also disclaimer, because this isn't my art, but I will show you. I just fucking drew the mark onto this. But I'll show you kind of what he looks like for chat.
That's what I'm saying, Sora. He's so fun. He's so... Ooh, I'm coming for him. Ooh, I'm coming.
Oh, maybe don't
More
say
ways
that.
than one. Check, please. So, he removes the mask and looks at you with his marked eye.
Oh my god. Sorry.
What do you say or do?
Oh
Anyone
god.
in the party, because this is significant to all of you. You all understand what this means to some extent. Some to a lesser extent than others.
Lilith could give less of a shit, maybe?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, cool. I've seen two of these marks now. What the fuck's going on?
Because you've heard from the way they've been talking just now that this is like a rare thing, but you don't really grasp how like significant it is. It means that a evil god literally trusts or trusted him at some point. You don't really get that part. You just know that this is uncommon and usually would be a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
But this guy has only tried to kill you once, and that's when he thought you were a Raisman follower, so, you know.
And she's like, wow.
And she wasn't even there for that.
Yeah,
Oh,
she
yeah.
wasn't even here for
Only
that.
tried to
She's
kill
like,
them once. You heard about it, you know it happened.
mhm. She's like, wow, that's cool. Okay. Can Lilith leave?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. You're free to go, I mean.
Oh.
All I can imagine is just like doing this big reveal. Like, I know what I am. Leaves.
Ugh. Yeah, it's gonna
Actually,
happen.
I
She's
know
gonna be
two
like,
of them.
oh,
Click.
okay, and then she leaves.
Not my place.
That's crazy.
Wow, that's crazy. Door shuts behind her.
Damn.
Like, this stuff is not important to her, so she'll just leave.
Okay, bye.
She has to go.
Okay, Violet.
She has other things to do right now.
Cool story, bro.
She'll catch up when you guys are back at the house or whatever.
Maybe Aelor can come with. I don't know. He's not here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think if he would. I'm honestly not sure, because on one hand, he'd probably be like, huh, that's strange. I want to know more about that. But on the other hand, he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, we already went over this with Rylerin. For context, Saurus, Rylerin also has a traitor mark on his back.
Jacob emote.
Ooh.
Jacob, he was so
Jacob emote. Jacob emote. What the fuck?
Incredible.
Did you guys not know that I put it as an emote on my stream?
No, I knew.
Okay.
It's just still
I
incredible.
know. It's
Peak.
just weird to see.
I mean, I don't know. I guess just for simplicity, Allure will.
Jacob forfeited his right to know by not coming.
So, what does Rylerin do? I mean, you especially.
Nah.
This is obviously most significant to you.
I think that he's kind of just like perceiving, like staring, just like processing is like, okay, I haven't met another. Oh no, Estelle was one, right? She got the traitor mark too.
Yeah.
Okay, but I knew her back then, so seeing like somebody else who from what I remember, never met or anything like that. And it's also like, he's like, okay, in the span of like a couple days, I've seen 2 other people with traitor marks. What the fuck is going on? I have to do my southern accent. Alright. Southern. There we go. Shut the fuck up.
I didn't say anything.
I need you to stop laughing when I get into the character.
I didn't even laugh.
No one's laughing, bro.
Per se.
Does he know? Bruh?
For how long? When did you
He kind of like, he looks down at the ground a bit, like kind of ashamed, a little bit, and is like, I wish I could say for certain.
You don't remember? Oh, good.
I don't entirely know, I guess.
Wait, you don't remember either?
He looks at you kind of like, what? Like, in his eyes, you know? He doesn't say that, but he looks at you like,
Yeah.
you know?
Twin spirit? Oh my god.
And he kind of like furrows his eyebrows a bit and is like, then I guess I'm not the only one.
Did Estelle let me know when she had turned away?
Let me check my notes, cause
Tippy tap, tippy tap.
that's when you cast sending. That's when you did that. That's when you did that. No, I don't think she did.
Fuck.
If she did, I didn't write it down, and that feels like something I'd write down.
Yeah. I don't know if I still don't like. I have some base of trust with this with this group, but it's still like I don't want to like air Estelle's laundry, so I'll probably keep that to myself. Well, I could be vague about it. Because they were looking for her, right? Were they hunting for her? Question mark. Or did
No,
they just
but
heard
they
about it?
knew about her. So they knew that your group assisted someone who they believed to be affiliated with Raisman, and it's
Okay.
why they suspected your group as being
Oh, okay. Affiliates of Erisman.
followers of Raisman.
I know someone else who stepped away, but I didn't realize that I didn't ask. I didn't think to ask at the time. I can cast send in later and find out. But if she also don't remember, then it might be something that of Raceman's doing. Taking the memories, I suppose.
Most likely, but I can't speak for you, but I know my situation was different. He had special reason. Although what that reason is, I don't know. And he kind of like, he like puts his fingers to his cheek where the brand is on his face.
Mm-hmm.
Just sort of like, I mean, you can tell he was clearly someone important.
Yeah.
As far as Raisman is concerned. He doesn't seem to know why that was, though.
Okay. I'll kind of like pause, like I look like I'm about to say something, I kind of like look at the decent crowd of people around us.
Everyone is listening intently. I mean,
Yeah.
except for like some of the people over here, right?
Yeah.
Every named token here is listening intently.
I'll kind of like look back. Would you want to maybe talk about this sometime later? Try to figure out, piece together what we know?
Noelle pipes up and says, why not here? This information is useful to us all now.
Kind of like hesitates. Respectfully, I'm still piecing together what I know and what I don't, and doing it in front of an audience ain't exactly, the easiest. Especially ones that might judge what I say.
She kind of raises an eyebrow and is like, you don't think this is still a private matter, do you? Frankly, I don't think you have the right to hide these things. I understand that it's a little personal. But I think we're beyond that point.
Ron's probably crossing
Don't
his...
you?
Ron's just crossing his arms over his chest. He's a little uncomfortable with that call out. He did not like that. It's kind of rude.
No one speaks up on your behalf either.
Yeah. I don't like this. Can we go to Nick's and see how he's doing?
I mean, this is gonna happen.
I know.
I mean, bro's just laying in bed. Thinking more just I don't know.
I mean, technically, he's still sick for the rest of the day, so...
Ah, shit. Ah, poo.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot interesting happening over there. Some puking.
I'll kind of like... I guess I'll look over to Alfred and be like, hey, we're in the same boat. You want to do this?
I'm afraid I agree with her.
Do you remember anything that isn't a part of Raceman, like your childhood or anything of the sort?
I will also note that Andalier slips out of the room.
Goodbye, Andalier.
Yeah, he's
That's-
going somewhere else.
That's not nerve-wracking at all.
he looked kind of disinterested. It
At
was
this
just
point?
kind of like, man, this isn't my fight. I don't fucking care.
Okay. It's boring now.
Yeah, actually, roll insight. To
I
see
love
how much of
rolling
a read
insight.
You can get on him because he's not trying to be vague. You know, I feel like he's a very, let's say, expressive individual.
23.
23.
Yeah.
He was only there when you guys came out because he thought there'd be a fight and he thought it would be fun.
No.
And then this just turned into you guys talking to each other and being uncomfortable. And he's just like, man, this is fucking boring. I'm gonna go do something more fun.
Understandable. Have a nice day, Andalier.
He straight up left because he got bored.
Like, there's a couple, like, interesting lore drops, and he's like, oh, okay, like, they're so far in between.
He's like, I'll hear about this shit later. I don't. And there's some level of, I'd say with the 23, you even notice this is something that's less on the surface. You know, you can tell like this whole time he's been kind of like, you know, maybe tapping his foot or had his arms crossed. His eyes are wandering around the room. He's not super interested in the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of like, when he leaves, you know, he kind of kicks off the wall and is like, kind of slips behind Aussie and just kind of like opens the door. You know, he's not being slow, but he's not running to get out. He's just like, fuck, I'm out of here, man.
Yeah.
You know. But since you rolled a 23, you also kind of notice that there's some level of consideration of like, well, you clearly don't want to talk about this in front of a lot of people, and I don't care to hear this, so
Let me help you with make that
lighten
little...
the burden, you know. He probably would have stuck around for a little while longer at least, but he was being considerate.
Thanks, Pookie.
That probably wasn't the main reason, though.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
If he had been interested, he wouldn't have cared.
Yeah.
He would have still
It was just convenient.
probably stayed, but he just doesn't fucking.
Convenient excuse. Honestly,
He's
can't
interested
correct.
in the whole Raisman thing, but he knows he'll hear about it later, so.
Yeah. And what was Alistair answer? But like, does he remember his childhood?
Yeah, so, he thinks for a second and says, most of the memories I'm missing are particularly related to Raisman. My childhood is perhaps a bit fuzzier than it would be, but not much.
I don't remember anything. My memories start when I was an adult. I remember waking up, and I remember hearing Raceman's voice. Things are fuzzy, but I'm getting on my feet. I became a cleric of his because I knew nothing else, and he saved me. I had nothing but the clothes on my back, and he made sure that his followers took care of me. So, that's how I got into it. Things are fuzzy. I started to realize what kind of situation I got myself. After the Whispering Butcher. When I was there witnessing that destruction, I knew that I couldn't be a part of it anymore, and so I tried to run to my
He actually like cuts you off.
Okay.
So you say like you're like the Whispering Butcher, and his eyes kind of light up a little with recognition, and then you say like witnessing that destruction. He cuts you off there and goes, "What did you see?"
Everyone had their faces covered. There were masks of all sorts. Is there like anything specific I would remember?
Creed was very much involved.
Oh.
There's rot coursing through the streets, and there was miasma
Oh.
hovering over the city. It was far and away the largest application of that power that you'd ever seen.
I feel like this is kind of like when the dots connect of like, oh, that's what that was. His ears kind of like droop. Is like, oh God. uh, I remember there being a lot of Creed. Raw, my asthma. It completely ruined everything. I don't know. I think if I heard somebody's voice from then, I might be able to recognize it, but nothing's standing out apart from that. I try to run pretty quickly after that.
He kind of like he looks pensive and like deep in thought. Kind of like hand over his mouth. And he says, I believe I was there too, but I don't know why.
Well, if you're well respected, it'd be expected, I suppose. It wasn't a small thing, I don't believe. Right? It was like a big crowd of people?
A significant portion of the city died. I mean, it was a city that
Yeah.
is no longer on the map. It was big.
So
and as a result of that, there had to be a fairly significant involvement of just a number of people. You think.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
But knowing what you know now about Creed, there is also some level of like, well, I mean, it wouldn't take a lot of people to do that just because Creed is really designed for, like, by the nature of how it works, it only takes one person and a little bit to do a lot of damage, potentially. I mean, you saw someone try to poison the water supply of Alucris with a vial of it, and clearly someone was here with some sort of sinister intention with a vial of it, and nothing more.
Yeah.
It's dangerous, especially depending on the form. Notably, Dread is probably the most dangerous form for a single person to have, where it poses the biggest threat to a large number of people when
Mhm.
just a single person has it. And you distinctly remember there being less of that than Rot and Miasma. It was there, but there was less of it.
Okay. Yeah, like I'll insert Rylerin saying that so we don't need to repeat the same thing. Yeah, no, it's blurry though. But moving on from there, I went to my partner at the time, and it ain't nothing about Raceman, but I had to move on from her as well. After that, I thought that the Whisper Butcher only happened a year ago. I came to recently find out that I was 15 and I'm missing all those. I remember nothing. I know that apparently Raceman sent an assassin after me after I left. And then I have maybe about a year worth of memory since that. I've been piecing things together slowly as time goes on. Oh god. I did bump into some other Raceman followers that were not as enthusiastic about the whole thing, but said that apparently anyone who deviates is generally not kept alive.
To that he nods and says, I have met very few like us. In fact, and he kind of like touches the mark again and says, the man I remember isn't a traitor at all. And I was lucky to get away from him alive. thanks exclusively to the fact he didn't initially recognize me.
I do a small nod. Do you know who he is?
I do. And he kind of he seems kind of resigned, like I don't know if and he looks over at Ignir.
Did you just drop the name again? Oh no, never mind. Ignore the Svehelen. My text was too small, so I wasn't able to see it. Never mind. Continue.
Looks over at Ignir, and he kind of thinks for a second, gives him a nod. And Alistair says, he lives in the northern wastes.
Nothing else? Nothing after that?
That's all he says.
That's it?
Well, that is a complicated place. There's not much else to say.
I give a little nod.
I could tell you his name, but I doubt that would help you.
I mean, might jog something that I know. Who knows?
He looks at Ignir again. It's the same thing of like, he kind of, because Alistair, Aussie, the other guy, the druid, and the person you killed, they don't seem to necessarily be super, like, they don't seem to work under Ignir.
Okay.
Or rather, they seem like they are temporary hires. They're working under him right now, but they're not members of the Svehelen, the way that Kuval is.
Yeah.
And Noelle doesn't seem to be a member of the Svehelen at all. In fact, she seems to have some level of disdain for Ignir. She doesn't seem too fond of him, actually. But there's a common enemy right now, and it's a god, so they can't really afford to infight.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Holden.
Holding.
So he looks at Ignir again, and Ignir doesn't actually turn to him. Ignir's eyes are on you still.
Okay.
But Alistair seems to read something in that, and looks back at you and says, his name is Seclin Agrid. I actually don't know if you would have necessarily crossed paths with him.
Okay.
You know what? I'll say roll.
What?
Roll like
Just a d20?
history check, I guess.
Maybe just a d20?
Nope.
Okay. I tried.
We'll say history.
11.
Whoop.
-1 go brr.
His name does not sound familiar. I mean, there's some, like, you get the feeling that maybe you've heard the name before, but that's it.
Okay. He's kind of like furrowing his brow and then does like a slow shake of the head. Nothing, really.
If you even did meet him, you may not have met him under the same name.
Fair enough. I think the only thing Rallian has to really catch up on is the dream that he had with Raisman. I didn't have any involvement after that. With Raisman, I joined Renman to, an attempt to try to repay things that I did, in hopes that maybe I could at least return some good. But either way, a little time after meeting this crew, we found those pills, and I ended up taking one of them in hopes that I could get some guidance. It didn't go according to plan, and the god that I found myself standing in front of was Raisman.
Oh. He's just kind of like, ooh, that.
Yeah.
He makes a face like there isn't quite recognition in it, in the sense that, like, he seems to be like, oh, that's bad, but it doesn't
Yeah.
seem clear if he knows why that's bad. Like,
Okay.
he doesn't know if he's like an asshole or something. He's just kind of like, think.
Yeah, before I forget, yeah, I already told you, but, do you also have a symbol? Or that you can't get rid of, or that isn't the scar? Like, I have my clerical symbol? Or no? I wanted to ask.
He kind of raises an eyebrow, like,
I'll hold out,
I don't follow. And then you hold up the thing, and he kind of like, he looks again and is like, no,
can't get rid of it.
no, I don't have anything like that.
No matter what I try to do, it always finds its way back into my bag.
The little Kenku next to him, Aussie. Well, I guess you guys don't know he's a Kenku. Only Allure figured that out.
Yeah.
He didn't say it. So the little guy next to him goes, creepy.
IEP?
No, creepy.
Oh.
Creepy. He's got the mask on still.
Yeah. Yeah. I figured I'd ask. Either way, I'll put back in my pocket.
As you're putting it away, Noelle says, any chance I could see that?
Sure. I'll hand it over.
She takes it and looks at it, kind of raises an eyebrow and is like, and you don't mind if I hold on to this?
Hold on to it as long as you can. I'm assuming it'll find its way back to me.
You see, it's very faint,
Mhm.
but there's a very faint smirk. She seems like, oh, this is interesting.
Okay.
But she just kind of like, she kind of looks off to the side. You know, she was very attentive in the conversation, but it seems like she's focused more of her attention on this, although she still seems to be listening.
She's like, ooh, magic item.
She's like, how queer.
How queer.
A circle in the triangle factory? How queer. I will infirm my...
Infirmed? You mean informed?
I will infirm.
Crazy.
I will inform my manager immediately. I guess we do in circles now.
What? Sorry, no one... You didn't insult anyone. What the You're good! But the dream, I stood ahead of him, in front of him. It's been a minute. One thing I for sure remember is that I asked what his whole goal was, and he wants to walk, with us, like, along the material plane. And... No?
Noelle actually cuts you off this time.
Okay.
She's still not looking, but she's looking at the,
Yeah.
thing in her hand, and
She's
she's
doing
just like,
autism.
no, that doesn't make sense. That would make him killable.
Um, I mean, I kind of like look at the Creed. Ain't gonna be nobody to kill him if we're all dead.
Maybe that's his plan, but if he wants to live on the material plane, he needs to create a body that can be destroyed. If that body is destroyed, he will die. Just the same as any of us do.
What?
Actually, not the same as any of us. It'd be more permanent.
What? He did. Did he briefly possess that one dude, right?
Yes.
There might be a difference if it's a follower. We fought against somebody in Alcrease, yeah, in Alcrease, and he did possess their dead body, and we managed to destroy the body enough that he wasn't able to get anywhere, but he was still very much alive.
Some kind of pact, maybe. She kind of like mutters that beneath her breath and says, but he wouldn't have been able to sustain that form if you hadn't been there anyway. It would have been temporary regardless. He, in his entirety, cannot remain in that form. It sounds like his interest is in experiencing our realm, physically.
Maybe.
Feeling the air and the sun on his skin.
I think he wants to see the sights and all that, so I'd agree with that. Another thing
And
to
he
that...
wouldn't be able to do that unless it was enough of him in that form. But to put enough of him in that form for him to truly experience things the way we do, it would destroy a mortal body.
During that fight, I did get knocked out. I was in that weird limbo of life and death, and I spoke with him again. And he said that he can't let me die as we made a contract.
Her interest turns back to you. Now you're more interesting than this item again. Lucky you.
She
goes, contract?
I don't remember what it is. I don't remember having one with him. But there is something that makes me different in the sense that I ain't alive.
What's your passive insight?
17.
Yeah, you can see a little bit on Noelle's face. It looks like there's like almost a bit of pride. She looks like she was just proven right.
She had a hunch about me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually rolled for her Arcana earlier, and she was, I shit you not, 1 point short of the DC I set.
That's crazy.
So she was like, especially after something you said, she was like, that's not normal. And she just goes, but you're not undead either.
I think...
Not really.
Not
the same.
I was talking with someone who, Sucrose, I think she was like a, oh god.
She's an undead specialist. She's like a necromancer,
yeah.
but...
Sucrose, she's an undead specialist. We're talking with her, and...
I'm familiar.
Her
eyebrows shoot up when you say the name.
I fell into, I suppose, the category of undead. I don't need to eat, I don't need to sleep. I can't get healed of normal means. I need to use, more necrotic, sometimes poisons if I'm in a bind, to
Arcane biopolarization. That's the same term Sucrose used. Again, it's kind of like...
Rallying with his 9 intelligence, like...
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Noelle doesn't look... She looks like she said that just to herself, more so. Just like a scene from a movie or something where they're like talking about something and the scientist is like, yes.
This extremely complicated science name.
Yeah, it's like someone calling it an Einstein-Rosen bridge instead of a fucking wormhole like a normal person.
Yeah.
It's like... If
Yeah,
you say so.
I think that's what Sucrose said as well.
Probably.
But I I'm I got the idea. I don't know how true, considering this was before I found out there were other people like me who were alive after betraying Raceman. But I thought, considering what I've become and the fact that I had this deep connection with Raceman, that he's not willing to let me actually pass on because I might be a suitable host for him or something. That now I'm not too sure on that, but
She looks like she has an idea. And sure enough, she's like, well, I have one idea on how to test that theory, but I don't really like it. As she says that, she glances back toward the Creed.
oh no. Riley looking at the sweats nervously. I'm not sure I like that either. I do like being at least partially alive.
I agree. It targets organic matter, but dead organic matter is usually not safe either. Which means he's either looking for a body that's like a construct, which more likely than not could be consumed by rot as well. Or... And she kind of glances back at you and says, there's something different about you that we can't yet quantify.
What?
Well, we know that rot breaks up anything that is organic. Doesn't have to be alive, it just needs to have been alive. A dead tree can still be consumed. Or at least that's our working theory. Perhaps you can shed some light on that? She kind of glances at you for a moment.
Do I know anything about it?
You think that's the case, but you're not super certain.
I can't confirm nor deny. I do agree with you where you're going with that, though.
Well, that means he either wants to create a construct of some kind, sort of like a warforged, and use that as a vessel, or there is something about you that isn't the same as a normal corpse or a dead, which we know is true, but it's a question of whether or not that something helps him sustain a form like you. It also might not be you specifically, maybe you were just a...
Prototype?
She kind of like... She like stops and like thinks for a second, like she's kind of like, maybe I shouldn't say that. She's initially not considering how you feel because she just... I mean, she's autistic. She doesn't... She's just like... She's just talking. And then she kind of like stops and catches herself and is like, that might be upsetting.
Do you think I'm just a prototype of sorts?
A test was the word I was going to use, but...
I mean...
And if you were successful, that might be why he wanted to keep you alive, or if you weren't and he doesn't know why yet. And she kind of motions towards you, just like, yeah, you know, just being like, you can fill in the rest of that statement, you know?
I mean, considering how much I'm missing, I wouldn't be surprised. I didn't even know that there's an assassin sent out of me. I
Which
don't...
is strange. Most people who are resurrected don't lose a scrap of their memory, but most people who betray a god don't lose a scrap of their memory either. And she looks at Alistair.
Well, the other thing is that I don't know when I became undead, I suppose. I thought it was when I first woke up, when I first heard Raceman, because that just made sense in my head. But considering there could have been another time, I don't know anymore. I don't know when in the process I became this.
I'm not sure if there's anything I could really test to try to figure that out. I mean, it's not like decomposition will allow me to date your body. I could maybe look into the scar, try to figure out what sort of weapon it is. We could link that back to a memory, but she kind of shrugs and is like, I'm not sure how effective that'll ultimately be.
I mean, I'm an open book at this point. There's nothing else I can hide.
That's good. She kind of looks at you like. Actually, she looks at you with scrutiny. Despite saying that, she's gonna insight you. Just, is there anything you are hiding? Anything at all?
Not of significance. He kind of like was saying like about the partner, but I was like, hey, this is not really important to this conversation, so I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not talking
Right.
about.
I'll ask. Is he
Yeah.
thinking about that right now? Is he kind of like, yeah, well, open book, maybe a little asterisk, right?
No, because if they want details, the fucking call would be like, you don't have the right to. Kind of like, oh, yeah. So he's kind of in like a, I guess, like vulnerable mind state of
Yeah,
like,
right now he's not thinking about anything, even if he is hiding something. It's
yeah,
not-
he's like thinking over like, I don't think there's anything that's happened that I haven't told about. So I don't think he in his mind thinks that he's hiding anything.
Okay.
Asterisk, unless we decide something in our later chats that so this needs to be retconned.
Yeah. True.
But even with the Redmond
Um,
conversation, I doubt there's anything that could come up.
Yeah, I mean,
Music got really
I don't
intense.
think so.
So yeah, Redmond. Right. There's too many R's.
Yeah, because she's reading you like a fucking book right now.
Yep.
She rolled a natural 20 for a total of 26 on her
She
insight.
can.
So if there is anything, and we come back to this VOD to check what we said, just know that if we need to retcon and say that she knew anything, she would have known it.
Yeah. Or at least that I would be hiding something.
Yeah. If there is anything she could have read from you in this moment, she would have figured it out.
Yeah. With the note that I'm thinking about Raceman and all that kind of stuff, so that is what
Yeah.
I feel like I'm being very open about what I've known about Raceman.
Yeah.
She don't know that I got a crush. No. You have homophobic homoerotic feelings.
You have homophobic feelings. They're internalized.
Fuck.
What?
What?
No.
I'm homophobic? Shit.
She's like, huh, I thought you'd be focused on the internalized part.
Anyways,
I don't know what that means.
those are two big words for me.
You're homophobic because you're gay. What? Okay. Please, guys, let's focus.
Yeah, DM.
Talking to myself.
The voices.
No. So she's kind of like,
Too bad Lilith missed out on that entire trauma dump.
yeah.
Someone is like, tell me more. Fuck. That's so sad.
But she looks at Alistair and says, I guess the most pressing question right now is... She kind of like stops and thinks and is like, Polarisa. I'm sorry, the Tracelands. She's a high elf. You can tell she's been alive for a very long time, so she's still getting used to the fact. It's been 15 years. She's still getting used to the fact that it's the Tracelands now, not Polarisa. She looks like what a human looks like at like late 20s, early 30s, right?
Hell yeah.
Which means for an elf, she's very old.
Yeah.
For an elf to look anything other than teenage or adult, like young adult,
Shocking.
means that they're like ancient already. So
Couple hundred.
so she's like, I guess the real question is Polarisa. I'm sorry, the Trace Lands.
My brain only processed the last part. What did she say at the beginning?
Just that the question is on Polarisa. What happened there?
That's the Whispering Butcher I was talking about.
Right, but we don't know the details. The military controls information obnoxiously, and unfortunately I'm not on great terms with them.
Do I have a third level on me? I do! Wait, do I even need to? Oh, I do! The fucker's not here! Wait! Rather pauses and just goes to cast Sending quietly. Just fucking does the X-Men Charles Xavier finger point.
Blows up pancakes with my fucking pancake.
Fucking Holocaust beam gets me every time. Anyways, I can't Sending to Dudley.
You know what?
Oh.
The reason you have a copper wire is for sending.
No, Sending doesn't require the copper wire, does it?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, is that why we fucking went with it?
I don't think you had
short piece of
sending
copper
at that
fine
point.
wire. Yep, I have my earring. I do the fucking top security thing, like finger to the ear. Testing. Eagle has landed.
No. What does it look like as you start to cast it? Because there's verbal somatic material, right?
The material is my earring. So I think it's gonna like, it's the, because he usually uses his amulet as the arcane focus, so it's like hand to the chest to touch it. And I think the gesture would just be to kind of like raise his hand, like to actually like when his fingers on like the actual copper wire or like his copper earring, so he could like, it's like making the wire connection, you know, like when you put the two electrical currents together, you gotta finish the circuit. That's what it is. So
Let me
like
stop you there.
Oh no. Does she cast Counterspell on my ass?
No.
Okay.
Okay. Ignir kind of takes a step back and hovers his hand over what you assume is a weapon. It's concealed, so you don't know.
Yeah.
Kuval straight up puts her hand on her big ass sword.
Oh god. I'm panicking.
Noelle seems to reach toward. She has a wand like holstered at her hip, so she kind of like pulls the cloak aside and reaches to it. And it looks like her other hand is reaching for something behind her too, but it's fully obscured by the cloak.
Oh no.
Alistair steps back a little bit and like his hand hovers over the weapon, but he looks more skeptical of that you would try to attack. He's not getting that vibe from you.
Rylan's immediately just hands him like,
instinctually
whoa!
like
Whoa.
the druid, he starts getting ready to cast something at you as well. And then lastly, little Aussie here, he looks like he's about to dart and take cover.
Oh, baby. Whoa. I'm misunderstand it. I'm not doing anything harmful. I'm just casting Sending.
When you say casting Sending, Noelle, you see her looking at the wire, and then she, lowers her cloak, stops reaching, and she's just
Yeah,
She's kinda
I would have like turned my
"Oh,
head
I
to
see."
point at the earring, be like,
Yeah.
"Stop her."
Alistair also does the same. Aussie sees Alistair's doing that and is like, "Oh, okay, we're good, right?" The druid is a little slower to lower his things. Ignir is a little slower because, you know, the druid doesn't know what fucking components sending needs. He doesn't have it. And Ignir, you don't even know if he's a caster. He doesn't seem to. But he glances at Noelle, who clearly does know. I mean, it's obvious to you she's very knowledgeable in magic.
Oh yeah,
and
Wibsard.
just in general. And he seems to look to her for like, oh, she believes you then. Yeah. And then Kuval is the slowest to lower her hand away from her weapon. She looks at Ignir, who is looking at Noelle. So it's just kind of like, are we good? Oh, do you know if we're good? Oh, we're good. Okay, we're good. And then lowers her hand.
Okay, I understand. I might have underestimated how untrustworthy y'all see me as. I'll say that sentence out loud. Can I
It's not
cast?
personal.
I understand. Can I cast it? Because I'm trying to get information about the Tracelands.
Well, since we know now, and she kind of like motions her hand, like, go on, you know.
Do you need me to say it out loud?
If nothing else, for curiosity.
All right. Kind of like looking at everybody like, we good?
Ignir, you have a high passive insight. He's. It's not embarrassed, right? But he seems a little, almost like annoyed with himself that he was that quick to the draw. You know, he's
Peepish.
kind of like, all right, that was a little. He's kind of
That's
thinking
a
to
little
himself, like, yeah, that's my
embarrassing.
bad. You know, I
Yeah.
gotta chill out a little bit. This is a little much. Kuval doesn't care. If Ignir is fine with it, then she's fine with it. She's just here to do her job, which is she's a bodyguard.
And she's doing
Alistair's
great.
fine. He looks relieved that he was right to trust you. You know, Aussie has a mask on.
Thanks, Aussie.
And the druid again just kind of resigns. You know.
The druid is really
to-
having a rough time right now.
Oh yeah. I mean, you'll remember from last time there was a lot of mental turmoil there.
Fucker needs to go to therapy after this.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude got killed, but then the killer like came and be like, hey, I'm sorry and apologize. And was like, I'm gonna carry this guilt with me and I don't blame you for being angry at me. And I was like, now I feel bad. Why do I feel bad? Anyways.
Yeah, he is in mental turmoil.
Poor guy. It's okay, dude. But yeah, so I'll kind of like, I'll like slowly raise my hand to my amulet and then to the earring. And the robo component, I believe, is just what you say. Slash.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and then if it's like because you can also cast it in your head, then then it's kind of like a little code word and be like meh. So this spell starts. Dialing.
Yeah, there's probably like a trigger word to like
Start it.
yeah.
That's
how it is generally with magic.
Either way, it's like 200 bits to kill the druid. No.
Oh my god,
I'll
that's
do
actually crazy.
I'll do things for
That's
money,
a crazy thing to offer.
but 200 bits is too little. I made so much progress with this group. I'm not throwing it away for
1,000
$2.
bits.
Nah.
That's still like $10.
1,000. I was gonna say 1,000 is also not much.
5,000 bits and the druid dies.
Now we're talking.
Lilith will do it herself.
You know what? I'll do it for free.
Fuck the bids. Give me cash.
Lilith, no. Good.
Is Lilith actually a hitman?
That's crazy.
Why do you think she showed up out of nowhere, guys?
5,000 bits is $100.
There's a bounty on your head, dog.
Is that actually how much? There's no.
Oh yeah, they changed the
Oh,
bid prices. Is that
God.
what it is now?
It's not. It's 90 Canadian. A little under 90 Canadian for 5,000 bits. That's
That's still
so
insane.
crazy.
only
That's mad bank.
500 bits is $10. That's crazy. Hey, Twitch, what's
Yeah, I
going
forgot
on?
They just did that actually. They used to be one bit was 1 American cent.
Crazy. It's a little bit less than 1 cent now. That's disgusting. I mean, yeah, do whatever you like. Anyways, D&D. So yeah, I'll like hand an amulet, hand to the ear. So like, okay. Dudley, it's Ralaran. Is there any information about is Tracelands 2 words?
No, it's 1.
The Tracelands
Tracelands.
or Polarisa in that book of yours. If needed, come back to Svehalen Arena. Thanks.
Thanks.
And now there's just this awkward silence as we wait.
25 words, huh? He replies, well, I can't exactly read it. It
Would-
will also be difficult for me to navigate back.
Would you say Lilith and Aelor got back already now?
Are they going back there? I don't even know where they were going.
Oh, we should ask.
Oh, Lilith wants to get her weapons appraised. That's why she left. She's like,
Does
this is
Allure
boring.
have anything valuable that he would...
Oh my god.
You know what? She'd probably ask Aelor, hey, you were here longer than me. Do you know anywhere I can get my weapons appraised?
Wait, he has a pearl! He can identify now! Guys!
It's true.
He can identify it for you!
But you know what? His ass would probably be like, nope, and leave. Because I don't believe you guys know of any blacksmith in town, so...
Oh god.
Well,
You'd
she's
just be like,
she'll
nope,
ask,
no idea.
you know what?
You can
Bye.
ask
She's gonna go
Dudley,
back.
cough cough.
She'll ask Dudley.
Yeah!
I'm sure Dudley knows something.
Dudley lived here.
Probably. Just walking away.
Dudley probably knows something. She'll go to him.
Alright, so... perfect. We'll say they're arriving back just about this time. So...
Yay.
I imagine it's like, oh wait, Lilith's here. And then that's where the sending ends.
That's what I was gonna say. He literally goes, but it will be difficult for me to get there. Never mind. Lilith has arrived.
Yay.
I'll ask. And then I think that's 25, so he stopped, I'll ask. He was gonna
So
say,
funny.
I'll ask her. You're pretty sure he said, I'll ask her, but it kind of like, the audio as it like filters into your mind through whatever magical means kind of tapers off.
So
So
funny.
you can tell he said something else, but you can't really, you don't know what, but you
So
infer.
funny. Yeah.
I'll ask.
So funny. Like it wasn't a complete sentence, there's no period. He's like,
I'll ask her. Oops.
we'll, I think they'll be coming back. Hopefully, if there's anything. But in the meantime, we'll just have to wait.
Meanwhile,
Thank
Lilith,
God.
you walk in and you're like, "We're back, Dudley."
Hi,
And he-
Dudley.
Yeah, you walk in. He's like laid down. It looks like he was about to be asleep.
Dudley.
And then you walk in, and as you walk in, as you open the door, you're just going like, "Hi, Dudley, we're back," you know, without even seeing him. But the moment you open it, you just hear, "Might be difficult to get there, but..." And he kind of like looks vaguely in your direction. He's talking to himself in this room, by the way. And he's just like, "Never mind. Lilith is back. I will ask her." Huh? Oh. And then he's just kind of like, he seems confused for a second and then shakes his head like, never mind, and says, I hate to ask immediately, but could you take me back to the arena?
Perhaps I could. Do you know where a blacksmith is?
Yes.
Is this one of the secret NPCs we haven't met yet?
No, actually. That's what's fucked up. I mean, it's not one that the other group
Yeah.
has met yet.
So close yet so far.
He still can't get over how he was like, you need to railroad them.
It's really good.
It's like, he also starts to get up and he's like, where's the archive book? And Allure just kind of like, you see him scrunch his nose for a second, just like a, and then you're both like, well, you're looking at him and Dudley is looking in his direction, and Allure's like, oh, hold on.
So
Pulls it out
funny.
and hands it to you.
What an ass. He would too. He fucking wanted to keep it for himself.
Yeah, he you get the vibe that he like, he kind of knew what you were talking about, but pretended for a second not to, just to see if it would fly under the radar, and then is like, whatever. He doesn't like super duper care, but he was like, man, I wanted to try and read that a little, you know. But he gives it to you. And then Dudley, still mostly blind, is like, do either of you know? After he's handed it to you, after Allure's handed it to you, Dudley's like, any ideas?
Please.
Hello?
Oh, would you look at that? I have the book.
Perfect.
So convenient. She looks staring down at Aelor.
Down? You ain't looking down at him.
He raises an eyebrow at you and just kind of like shrugs and starts walking into the next room. It's like, girl, I don't care. Dudley's kind of got a hand out, like just vaguely in front of him, and it's just like, could you,
Of course.
It's like, I could try to walk to the door, but there's a table in here, man.
Oh. It's okay. Don't worry. I'm the one guiding you, not him.
Give him a crisp high five.
She's not the kind of person
Dap
to
him
do
up.
that.
Taylor would.
What the fuck?
What's happening?
What's happening? What the fuck?
Yeah, fucker's a nerd. You think that he would know what the fuck's going on? Nah, brother. He's like,
Nah.
What was that? Why'd you smack my hand?
Why did you hug me, but only kind of, and for a second? His ass is not chill like that.
Oh my god.
No.
Lord doesn't go. He knows that Pascal is vomiting in the next room, so he's like, I ain't going in there. So he just sits down in there. Meanwhile, you know what? This is gonna be funny, because
That's funny.
he's gonna have to try to get you to. He's gonna try to show you how to navigate the book, but it's that weird arithmancy thing. Or actually, you know what? You'll probably be fine, because Noelle.
Yeah, there's no L. I didn't want them to know, but it's okay.
I'm back, and I have Dudley.
Oh, lovely, thank you.
Of
Hello?
course. Okay, Dudley, before I go, where's the blacksmith? Please and thank
Where's the
you.
blacksmith?
It's across the street from the Crooked Sailor,
Mhm.
but it's east, not south.
Okay, I'm sure I can find my way around. Thanks a bunch. And she'll give him like a little kiss on the cheek. Thank you.
Kind of awkwardly smiles. He's not used to affection.
Phil.
Bye.
All right, well, you leave.
She leaves again.
Bye, Lilith. I give a wave.
And I'm gonna pretend to know where that location is. I'm sure I can find it.
If you go to the Crooked Sailor, it's to the right of that. It's east.
This? Oh,
Where'd you
I
go?
put her in. I put her in the fog of war.
Guys, when will we learn?
When will we learn? Not
And
ever, I
even
don't
more
think.
So, when will we learn that there's an undo button?
Nah,
Sorry.
it's funnier.
I'm sorry.
When will you learn that your actions have consequences?
So it's this building then, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. That's where I'll keep her.
I mean, there's a
Right.
few, because it's like a big building, there's like different, but on this side, there's actually, let's put a door in, guys.
Oh my
Where's
god.
the entrance? There we go. She'll stand there. Continue.
Never mind,
You're-
I go back to this Helen. I thought we are gonna do a
You're-
Lilith moment.
Oh. I don't know. Whatever Rosie wants to do.
Gigi, you should look at chat.
And I need an ASMR channel immediately. Okay. For you.
Personal
Specifically for
personal
you.
ASMR channel just for Sora.
Every video starts with, hey, Soras.
Hey, Soras.
Hi, Sora.
Maybe one of those like takes the cookies out of the oven but burns her hand and is just screaming.
No, it's really sexy.
Cookies are dead.
It's so burnt and hot.
No.
GG
No.
fucking would, though.
I know.
Hey, shut the fuck up. But
Am I
would, actually,
wrong?
I would actually.
There we go.
I was
Nate.
gonna say.
I would do it.
We knew.
My knees.
It's crazy. Simping in my chat. Hey, mods, can we ban this guy?
I got you. No.
Kurt's like, yes.
My
As a matter of fact,
Oh my god.
I do have that power. And so she kind of looks at the book and is just like, now what's this?
I'll just look at. I'm letting Dudley take over this.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Dudley explains.
He can make the decision if he wants to explain everything.
He kind of like, I imagine he's a little closer to you just because.
Familiarity.
He doesn't know who's here.
I'll like pause and be like, because he can slightly see, right?
Yeah, out of one of his eyes, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll kind of like take the second to put a hand on his shoulders, like, ha, it's Rallern, and then point like, Noel, Ignir, Palfy, and then kind of like just point everybody out, turning him slowly so he can see my finger, pointing everybody out, and just so he knows what's going on. I think Noel might be able to help you with that.
Right. He's like, it's still weird to him to be in front of the patriarch of the Svihelen.
Yeah.
You know, this is kind of like being just like next to the mayor in like a normal
Casually.
like city. If it was like an evil mayor. So
Evil mayor.
like
So all
mildly
mayors.
evil. It's like lawful evil mayor.
Mafia
So the
mayor.
average mayor, yes.
It's a mayor, but mafia.
Yeah, it's like being across the room from like Al Capone. It's like I don't.
Oh shit.
Oh my god.
But he's just kind of like he seems like he's holding the book a little close to himself. Like I don't know if I want to say this. And Noel kind of glances at Ignir and looks back at him and says, "So it's sensitive then," kind of surmising. Yeah, I think I know why he is hesitant. Ignir's going to be like, well, at this point, the ship has sailed. I think we all know that I'm going to see what's in that book eventually. Might as well cut to the chase, save us all the trouble. That was not the voice I did, by the
Nope.
way. I don't know.
He got possessed, I think.
He was like, he was a little chiller
Yeah.
just now than he was more like, I think we all know that I'm going to figure out what's in that book. Why not save us the trouble?
It's going to find. It's crazy.
And Dudley's just like, he really doesn't wanna. Noelle's gonna say, I don't align myself with him normally. How about you let me see it first? Dudley's gonna try to insight that. He believes her. Whether or not it's true is irrelevant. He believes her.
Yeah. Could I insight?
Yeah, sure.
I love inciting. I also just want to roll dice. Wow, another 23.
Insane.
I'm consistent.
Fire emoji.
Thank you.
Fire.
Yeah, I mean, she seems like she also doesn't want to give this information to him, actually. I mean, after inciting, you trust her more than you did initially. Just in that, like, it's clear she doesn't like Ignir.
Yeah.
She does not approve of his methods. She's not fond of him.
I'll give kind of like Dudley a little squeeze on the shoulder, kind of like to hey, vibe checked, yes. And
he
later
kind of nods in acknowledgement, and also in being like, yeah, I also think she's probably fine.
It's crazy happening in chat.
Crazy.
Yeah, I just read out. And if there is, I'll take their spot in a hostile takeover.
I think he's
Dictator.
I think he's coming for you, Rosie.
What the fuck?
That's crazy.
No, I'm not in the fan club.
You're just wife.
Yeah,
You're just
that would be,
automatically
like,
president.
biased or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she kind of like takes it and goes, oh, no, this is an interesting enchantment. That's not her voice. Huh, no, this is an interesting enchantment.
Slightest tweak.
It wasn't enough of a tweak, but I'm not that good at voice variation.
You
I
got
can do
this.
like accents and stuff sometimes, but
Oh my God.
beyond that, you know. But she's just like, this is a book of holding. It's not the first I've seen it, but I don't normally see the reason in it. It's a difficult procedure, normally. Oh. She's kind of like, I see. Kind of figuring out what she's looking at, and she's just like, so the rumors were true. How did you acquire this information? Looks at Rylerin.
I'm trying so hard to think of a way to tell her without telling them.
Ascending.
I don't have any more spell slots. It's obvious when I get. Fuck me. I gotta write that off actually. Rylan, I think, is just freezing up. He's just actively like trying so hard to think. He's like,
She raised an eyebrow. She's waiting for you.
and that's making me panic.
Yeah. Palfi and Gnark, I mean, you're both here as well.
Please.
Any of the three of you.
I just like, oh, I got nothing.
I mean, you can also just be like, I don't want to tell you that.
Let's.
We'll see how it works, but
How about we focus on one question at a time? Let's see if there's anything about Polarisa in there.
kind of like raises an eyebrow, like whatever you say, man. She flips through for a bit. He's kind of like, you'll have to, and she's just like, I've got it. I actually met the person who created this spell. He's like, what? But she continues flipping through, and she's just like, disappearance. Huh. There is information on it.
What is there?
It's not... Kind of thinks for a second, is like, extensive. It was determined to have some sort of accident. She kind of like flips the page and is like, magical forge. Said to be the source of the events. Recorded strange phenomena. And a band of rogue cultists who... Well, that's not right. Were taken out. Clearly not. She doesn't... You realize she's referring to, because you were there and you were...
Yeah.
You know, erasement. But she doesn't look up at you because she kind of seems aware that that would definitely be mean.
Thank you. Ryan's just like, he's tall. He's like trying to peek over and just kind of like read as well.
Yeah. It says what she's saying.
Yeah.
I don't have like a handout for you.
Yeah,
but...
no worries. It's more so like if there's anything that I can spot, whether like that.
Yeah.
Combine our brains together with my 9 with her whatever high number it is.
It would have a date, but I still haven't
Figured out a date yet.
Yeah, I haven't picked one.
Insert date here.
But, yeah, I'll write down like party knows date of Whispering Butcher.
Well, with all this, I'm assuming that maybe somebody of the racemen was working for whoever was ran this? Changed it? Or was able to influence it?
Or they actually thought they killed them all. You were there, you said they were wearing masks, but were you wearing a mask?
Was I?
No.
I don't think so.
Maybe they killed all of the people who were directly involved. It says that they were attacking people at the same time as things were happening. But the cause of it was deemed an accident, which is strange. Why would a bunch of cultists do something accidentally and then go on a rampage? I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
Writing down notes.
Yeah. Um. So she kind of glances up at Alistair and says, "Is any of this jogging your memory?" And he kind of like his brow is all furrowed. You know, he's clearly in some level of mental, not turmoil, but unrest.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, "No, no, it's not."
Isn't there a spell that could help with that kind of stuff? I know that I kind of incidentally used something, a variation of it or sorts, where I was able to read somebody's thoughts. Don't it also, if you, can it go into memories as well? I don't know the details, I don't get access to it, but
What spell are you referring to for reference? 'Cause
Detect
she might know,
thoughts.
but I'm not sure.
it is a wizard spell. Detect thoughts is very sexy. You can get surface thoughts if you just peek over somebody's head, but you can also delve deeper. And if you keep the conversation going, you can guide what memories you kind of like looking for and stuff like that. But you can also kind of just brute force your way through it.
Hmm.
We ignore that Rylan has a 9 intelligence. He just overheard this. Because he listens good.
He's stupid, but he's got a good memory.
I should take Keen Mind just to continue the bit. Make my intelligence a nice 10.
Nice fair 10.
Nice round double-digit number of
Respectable.
10. It'd be very ironic considering he's an amazing. I may not remember.
She's going to say, detect thoughts. Yeah. It's a useful ability, but not one I have direct access to, although I believe I have a scroll somewhere. We could try it, but I had the thought of using it already. It's just we would need a baseline. If they're protected through magic, it won't really do much to be able to probe unless we can find an opening in the spell. It might not make sense, but if you think of it as putting a shell around the object of the thought or memory, we need to find an opening in that shell and squeeze through it.
I'm really sad there was
Without a baseline, that wasn't possible, but now... And she kind of like looks at the book and is like, maybe. No guarantees, but...
this is the other thing. This is me as a player who Rylan I don't think would have any knowledge of this. If she casts Identify on either of us, she would be able to know if there is any spells currently affecting us. And if she's able to identify the spells, if it's like Modify Memory, there is ways to remove Modify Memories. Like with Remove Curse or Greater Restoration. So instead of having to go through the Detect Thoughts route, where if it is something like Modify Memory that's affecting us, we're just going to remember what we remember, what's the memories modified. But as a very smart wizard, autism wizard, I feel like she would know to at least cast Identify first on one of us.
Autism Wizard is amazing. Yeah. She would... Her thinking right now...
Mm-hmm.
I mean... You don't technically know this, but I'll tell you anyway. Her thinking right now is that, this probably isn't a simple spell. It's not as clean cut as, like...
Yeah.
Just, oh, well, it's
It's a godly version of
modify
it.
memory. She's like, okay, this is some weird fuckery. There's a god involved, so
Yeah.
this is definitely not what we think. You know, this is gonna be weird.
Mhm.
So she's kind of like, I would say you can tell that to some extent, just because it seems like she's considering the options
Yeah.
of like what's within her reach and what she can try to use on him. And she's just kind of like, I don't have a lot that could really pierce through that shell. It'd be hard to brute force our way through it, even if we know how it's constructed. There might not be a weak spot like there normally would be.
Slight nodding from Rylerin.
Plus, you might have consented to its construction, so to speak. And Alistair kind of like looks a little confused, and she just goes, the mark. I mean, it's not unlikely that the both of you allowed your god to take your memories as a sort of part of some sort of rite of passage or something of the sort.
A proven of sort?
Right. Or given him permission to take your memories in the future. Ultimately, it's not all that uncommon.
I suppose so.
And all of these things can contribute to fortifying that shell around the memory. Not to mention, you clearly know something. He says this to Alistair. You clearly know something in particular that he didn't want you to. Given where your mark is, right? So... kind of like... nod. And she's just like... It might not be enough to just jog your memory. We probably will need some sort of magic interference. Finding something powerful enough. Maybe we can find a loophole. You wanted to try speaking with the corpse, right?
Yes.
If that works, try and ask a question about rite of passage rituals. It might be difficult, since it's a vague question. But...
I mean, if I phrase it well enough, then... shouldn't be too bad.
she kind of nods like... It's the like, that's what I mean nod,
Yeah.
you know? And she's just like, my hope is that we can gain enough information for me to find a loophole.
Is that what we want to focus the questions on, then?
Maybe. I mean, the fewer questions you need to spend on it, the better, since there's a lot of different kinds of information we can get.
Do we want to discuss on what kind of things we want to prioritize?
She kind of shrugs and is like, that's the only thing I have to ask. I don't know how much this, random zealot would know. She'll also add to the end, although I guess we don't know for a fact that he's just some zealot. Maybe he's more significant than we realize.
I mean,
His mark doesn't indicate it, but...
kind of just shrugs.
yeah. I don't fucking...
I mean, no matter what, I'm assuming that all of us went through some kind of initiation. So, I'm hoping that he'd be able to rain something. Can you take memories from a someone who died?
There are some forms of magic that can, but I don't have that capability. I don't believe detect thoughts alone would be enough because his mind isn't really here.
But would Raisman... Do you guys think that Raisman would do that? Take the memories of a... Can he do that?
If he could, he definitely would. I don't know if he can, though. It's
Guess
a little hard to measure the capabilities of a deity.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out.
That's assuming you can even contact him.
The body, right?
Right. Or
Well-
Raceman, for that matter. You had Lidley looking at your, pills, right?
Yeah. I guess, so ask about an initiation process and what it entailed. Ask about why he brought the creed here. Kind of like ask a clarification.
No, just nods like... Or not as kind of like a, well, duh, that's the most obvious one,
Yeah.
you know?
I'll kind of like look over to Ignir like, I know that this was, this person was, you know, you guys caught that, right? Is there anything you'd want to know?
Is there anything you want to know?
Just sits
He
back
kinda
getting...
is like... Well... I suppose mostly just why he's here. I don't
So,
have a terribly large interest in... Raceman at large. If I might be so frank.
that probably can be wrapped under as to why the creed was brought here.
I only care about Raceman as he pertains to my city.
Right.
Beyond that, I have no interest.
Keep that in mind. I get 6 questions, is it? Or 5? No, it's 5.
I think it's 5.
Speak with dead. Up to 5 questions. The corpse only knows what it knew in life. Brief, cryptic, or repetitive.
Which is a really funny stipulation because there's the implication. There's the implication that you can't ask what the afterlife is like.
I mean, yeah. It also can't, like, yeah, it's more so, I think, to ensure people are like, okay, what happened since you died here? Like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
right.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the corpse can't sense things, but it also means that the corpse can't, like, rules as written, can't tell you what the afterlife is like, which is a really funny distinction.
Yeah.
Which gods are real?
I don't
What?
know. So I guess those 3 questions might be best, and then use the last 2 to get more details if I need to.
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, we don't even know if it'll work.
So is there anything else to be discussed?
Don't leave the city, Ignir says. At least for the time being.
I figured as much. I mean, I'm gonna be here for sure for tomorrow, as considering that's when I said that I'd be doing the Speak with Dead. If there's nothing else, should we just start getting ready for tomorrow?
Yeah, Alistair puts his mask on. No one else says anything. They're just all kind of like, Ignir seems like he just doesn't care enough to, and everyone else is just like, it's not up to me. And I was like, I don't fucking care.
Okay.
And everyone else here is just like, I'm not gonna. They have nothing else to do or say.
Hey guys, we gotta hydrate.
Oh dear heavens.
Oh dear heavens. I'm just telling you no because he Sora is making a good point. We talk a lot. We do a lot of yap. I mean, if
Keep
there's
yapping, brother.
times, is there anything else any of us want to do? Oh, Lilith needs to do her blacksmith thing.
That's true. Get her weapons appraised.
Shall we do that now? Because I don't think there's anything else to discuss in this fucking group unless Gnark or Palfy have something to say.
No, not really.
I feel so bad.
Oh,
I'm talking so much. You guys are just standing there listening.
I mean, they have the ability to talk. If they had anything to say, they would.
That's the problem.
Allure just, or not Allure, fucking quite the opposite. In fact, Gnark just, he's not like that.
He's absorbing information.
Gnark is just like, what was the reaction when everybody was about to fucking smack down on Rylerin? Because y'all
I
did
imagine-
nothing.
I imagine Gnark was like also holstering his weapon, not because like he's gonna attack them. It's more or less like, oh,
He's
He
gonna
well,
take
just saw
Rylerin?
everyone do it and was like, yeah!
He's like, we're fighting?
like
Let's
peer
go.
pressure. It's peer pressure. It's like, I gotta.
All I can imagine is like he
squared off and
also
like, alright.
facing Rylerin with his weapon around. It's like, what the fuck, dude?
Like also looks at Rylan for like just a second, and then kind of like furrows his brow. Is like, wait a minute.
Oh.
Rylan's like, you do?
I just want to fit in.
Oh, baby. Are we doing Lilith moment?
Yeah, I mean, no one else here has anything. So, Lilith,
Yeah.
time for some appraisals.
Yay!
So you walk up to this quaint little stone building.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's pretty big, but there's like different doors for there's other stores in it. You can kind of see from the outside. So you walk into this particular, I don't know, I guess one. Why is it
Yeah.
not- This didn't have an interior, so hold on.
Ugh. I'm not saying ugh because you didn't
Ugh.
make an interior.
I did.
I'm saying ugh because
Okay.
my bra's so ugh.
Take off your bra!
I am freeing the girls. I need to breathe.
Yeah!
Freedom.
CG section, sorry.
Imprisonment. It's all an illusion. Alright, so. You step into the room.
Yes.
There's like mild shouting of like people yelling back and forth to each other. It seems like someone's arguing with someone. As you look to the right, and some random guy from the street is like yelling at this guy. And he's like, "It broke in half!" And the guy's like, "It's not my fault you can't swing a sword." And he's like, "You."
You fuck. Are you fucking?
Looks like he wants to jump him, and then the
fucking
yeah. Are you fucking? It is a human fellow, looks like an adventurer, arguing with a dwarven fellow, who is like kind of like mocking him. He's kind of like everything short of sticking his tongue out. And then over here, there's another dwarven guy who just looks like he looks tired, and he like scratches his head, and he sees you come in, and is like, "Welcome to the Rockwood Forge. Please ignore them."
Lilith will like laugh politely, like, of course. I'm sure things like this happen frequently.
Not especially, but my nephew doesn't know how to speak to a customer. Yeah, and he says it like it's supposed to be a slight at him, but
Mhm.
he's clearly not listening. He's like,
He's too busy arguing with the other
well,
guy.
if you learn how to swing a sword without smacking them and, cutting them, then maybe. And the guy's like, I know how to swing a sword. I fought an owl bear. Like, they're just arguing back
Oh,
and forth.
buddy.
I could have died. You should have. What?
He's just like, how pleasant to listen to.
It's not. Clearly exhausted.
I jest, of course. Are you able to do weapon appraisals?
Yeah, we're not terribly versed in magics, so we might not be able to help you there, but I can tell you about the craftsmanship of an item. I can tell you if it is magical, just not much else. Usually, I can tell you.
Good enough for me. Here you go. She takes her trident out and the rapier. She puts it on the table, like, have a go.
So the first thing he looks at is the trident. He kind of like he seems immediately interested, you know? And he's like, Now this is a nice weapon. This is a beauty. Why is it in such poor condition? And he looks at you almost accusingly. It's like, how have you taken such terrible care of this item, you know?
Yeah, she's just got like a polite smile on the entire time. But she's like, oh, no. I found it in this condition. You see, I was exploring and I came across these two weapons in such a terrible, terrible place. Humid, moldy. Every other description that is negative in the dictionary you could think of.
It's a sin.
Of course. I would never treat my personal weapons like that. That's why I came here, to see if, you could help me.
Well, I can definitely fix this up. I'd be happy to, but it would take some time. And coin.
That's fine. How much?
Depends on what kind of metal this is. Hard to tell with all the growth on it. You know, it's like moldy and mossy, you know? He's like, if it's cheap enough metal, it'd probably only be kind of like... He's looking at, because this thing has some like nice designs. So it'd be more ornate, more difficult to restore. And he's like, probably 10 gold. Looks like he's really like going back and forth. He's like, a lot, a little, trying to decide like, but that's only if it's common metal. I only work with high quality metals, but some metals are rarer than others. Now, if this is something hard to find, that price rockets up.
Of course.
A couple platinum even, maybe.
Sure.
But
Well,
we'll see. Now this rapier, kind of like pulls that close. It's in nicer condition, clearly neglected a bit, but not as rusty as you would have thought it would be, because apparently it's been sitting down there for years. And he's kind of like, floral design looks foreign. I don't believe that this is magical, but its craftsmanship does mark it above the average. In player terms, this is a +1 rapier.
ooh, yay. Is there a visual?
I don't know. Let's see if I can find one that
Or do I have
fits
to
what I'm
just like
imagining.
imagine it in my brain?
It's like, because I have like a... No, not shopping. Images. I have a visual in my head. I mean, I could give you an MS Paint drawing, but if I'm gonna actually like draw it, then that's not happening right now.
Oh, that's fair.
I'll hold on. I'll make like a little just to visualize what the design kind of looks like.
Yeah.
I'll use MS Paint, my goat.
Woohoo.
Goat moment.
Goat moment?
Goat moment.
What does LeBron have to do with this? Kind of like that, and then like that. That is a very crude drawing,
I'll take it.
but here you go.
Oh, that's okay. Like
It's a
the
mouse
flower
drawing.
is like the handguard.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And it curves down. There's more like ornate things. The blade
Yeah.
kind of has engraved into it very small, like vines, essentially.
Okay, that's cute. That's cute.
Yeah, and there are small metal flowers along the hill in such a way that they don't inhibit your grip or won't kind of stab into you or anything.
Yeah.
And he's just like, this could use a bit of restoration, but it'd work fine if you need it in a pinch. And its craftsmanship is very impressive. I'd say if I were buying this, I'd probably give someone. He again, like, there's like a thing with this guy where he looks at an item and can't decide how much it's worth. Like, he can give you an accurate appraisal, but it like takes a while because he's like, no. Well,
Yeah,
no. Well, no. It's just
So
like,
real.
and he's like, not exceedingly rare craftsmanship, just impressive. 10 gold, maybe 15.
Okay.
This trident in its current state would be worth maybe a gold piece for its potential. But if it's fixed up, I say it's probably a fair bit more valuable, especially if I learn it has any sort of magical property. But I can't
Alright.
give you an accurate appraisal at a glance.
How long will it take for you to restore and appraise these?
The rapier I can do in maybe half an hour. But this trident is gonna be a mission, to say the least. He looks at like there's like a piece of paper, like a ledger behind the thing, that you can see is like kind of the stuff he has to get done, you know?
Yeah.
And he kind of like looks at that and thinks and is like, not too much to do. Few days, probably. I won't know for certain until I'm trying to recreate these designs, but at a glance, they're gonna be a pain. He seems like he's trying to like figure out a nice way to say it, and then he just gives up and he's like, this is gonna be annoying.
Okay. Well, no rush. I understand that your craft is very time consuming and delicate. So I'll be around in the city for quite some time still, so take your time. And I appreciate the help.
He just kind of like, well, he's still looking at the weapons. You can tell he has kind of like a particular interest in weapons. That's why he does this. So he's kind of like, you're a means to the end of getting money, right? But
Yeah.
more so even than that, just like getting to work with the weapons. So now that he has them in front of him, he's just kind of like, yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
She's like, okay. I'll be around in about 3 days.
All right.
All right. And oh, sorry. What was your name?
What was his name? I did name him. Which is the problem. Now I can't make one up. I need to find it.
Damn.
There it is. Jurat Walkward. I'll put it on his token.
It's very nice to meet you.
Mm-hmm. He's like he's half listening to you. He's looking at the weapon again. Yeah, whatever. You know.
She doesn't care. She's like, all right, take care. And she leaves.
And another thing! And you close the door behind you.
That's so funny.
Okay. Oof. Jeez, people don't understand how hard customer service is.
I mean, in the guy's defense, he was probably fighting something pretty gnarly, and then his sword snapped in half, so... I'd
Yeah,
be
but if you
angry,
know how-
too.
You know how to take care of it, and whatever. He's not dead.
I mean,
so-
I don't know. Maybe this guy just genuinely thinks that it was that guy's fault, you know?
I don't know where Lilith is gonna go. She's gonna go back to the house and check on, Bennett.
Yeah,
Where's
fuck
her
Pascal,
baby?
only Bennett.
Yeah,
Skull.
yeah.
Pascal
fuck
can go fuck
Pascal.
himself. Pascal's mid.
Yeah. She wants to make sure her baby is okay.
He's
Not
sick.
Pascal.
Not yet.
Not yet.
No. Bennett will be fine.
I'm not going to do anything to Bennett, probably.
In theory. It's just a
Is there anything
game
to
theory.
find out about you guys,
All of your theories are wrong. Goodbye.
Ah, shit.
If something bad happens to Bennett, I think I will go crazy. Not
Just wanna
Lilith. Oh,
say-
Gigi.
I love the fucking all of your theories are wrong goodbye gif.
Funny. Where should I pan the camera to?
I don't think you're gonna like what I have to say.
No.
I know it hasn't been long, but first of all, I'm tired,
No,
and
it's
second
fair.
of all, we only have 4.
Yeah, it's okay.
But I kind of want to go back to sleep. I'm not gonna lie.
I want to do this because that's so bad. No, that's fair.
I know, but it's also we can't just go directly to that because then there's you
Yeah.
gotta talk to different people beforehand.
Yeah, I know.
Like, oh, this is the guy who is watching the body, and this is the whatever.
I understand. I get it. Sigh. Well, say the words, DM. Look up.
Among Us Us. No, that's where we're gonna end the session.
Well, that's it,
Yeah,
boys.
I'm not happy about it either. I'm fucking tired. I don't know. It hit me really hard,
You're so good.
really suddenly.
It's understandable.
Oh, my back hurt
I
like a
was like,
motherfucker.
it's annoying because I did take a nap and I woke up in like the afternoon.
Should I end
and
stream?
I was up for. I don't care.
Okay.
I woke up in the afternoon and I was up for a few hours and then I took a nap. And like, I've had a long day, so like I don't know, emotional turmoil, whatever. But like, I'm physically rested. I feel. I don't know why I'm so tired.
Everybody's
It's annoying
eepy.
me. It's just the eep. Eepy girl
You
gonna
can
wake
just
you
go
up.
to her.
EP hitting
Mm.
hard. Well, goodbye, players. Wait, goodbye, viewers. Farewell.
Alright, goodbye, players too. I'm deleting this.
Bye.
Ah, shit. Not
I'm gonna
again.
hack into each of your accounts and block each other on your accounts so you can't talk to each other anymore.
Oh man, not again.
Crazy.
Everyone say bye.